Good morning, everyone out there in Facebook land, on social media. This is CMP Radio News. This last week in news, we're going to talk on a couple subjects, both positive and negative. We had a little debate today on the news that we should cover, on what we should say, and how we should respect everyone, right? You know, there's a way to tell news, and there's a way to report news, and there's a way to share news, right? I didn't go to school, so I didn't not go to school. I didn't go to college for this, so I really don't know. And I'm trying to be sensitive to everyone and how they feel. But we're going to start this off. We're going to start our news show off with what's happening. Let's start all the way back. Let's go back to Saturday, right? This Saturday we had a Let Us Breathe asthma awareness event put on by the good folks over at Circle. Chester residents concerned for quality living held an asthma awareness event over the weekend. On Facebook, they write, "Let Us Breathe event last Saturday was a tremendous success. The event aimed to raise awareness among Chester residents about the high asthma rates and their causes. All the activities were focused on wellness, normalizing the care of asthma, and making sure attendees walked away knowing what the triggers can be. For example, many don't realize that things like secondhand smoke, dust, mold, pets, and even cleaning products can trigger an asthma attack. Stay up to date for more Circle events on their website, and if you were there, let us know what you thought about it." There are tremendous things happening in our community every day, and if we continue to not talk about them, what we experienced while we were there, what we saw while we were there, what we witnessed while we were there, and how we felt while we were there, those things get faded away into the darkness. So shout out to Miss Zuline Mayfield and everyone that's helping her, C4, all the students from Swarthmore, all the residents from the city of Chester that were there. I saw pictures. Shout out to Miss Tamika, city councilwoman Tamika Gibson, Tamika Williams now, she's married. Shout out to her, right, and everything that she's doing in the community to make sure this news is getting out there, right? I know she is very, very capable of continuing to put the news out there that benefits our community. Let's jump back into America for a quick second. Right, so President Biden signed a $1.2 trillion government funding deal to keep the government open. That's right, as usual, before election, before the year, they always go through this. Oh, they're trying to shut America down, right? We're trying to get enough money so we can fund everything to make sure things stay open. America can't close. But we have noticed since 2020 that if the money's not there, they will, if they can't agree, they'll shut things down, right? And that puts a lot of people out of work, right? A lot of people that work for the government, a lot of people that receive funds from the government can't receive those funds. So this agreement represents a compromise, which means neither side got everything that they wanted. Neither side got everything that it wanted. Why is there a side when it comes to the people? There shouldn't be a side. There should be right and wrong, right? But Biden continued emphasizing that it rejected extreme cuts from House Republicans and expands access to child care, invests in cancer research, funds mental health and substance abuse care, advances American leadership abroad, and provides resources to secure the border that my administration successfully fought to include that good news for the American people, right? So all of those things, they seem like things that everybody should be fighting for, right? Let's go back. Child care, cancer research, funds mental health and substance use care, advances American leadership abroad, and provides resources to secure the border. I had this conversation with my brother the other day, not my real brother, but how how can we see America as a place that's keeping its borders closed when at one point we welcomed everybody in? Ellis Island. If you go to New York and you go check out the Statue of Liberty and you go to Ellis Island and you see all the people that came here that were immigrants. They came here from Ireland, Spain, Scotland, you feel me? England, right? They came over here and they created the foundation of what created a great country, right? The only people that didn't come through and names weren't counted for were, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about immigrants, right? And I was in Chicago and I seen that they have, because it's a sanctuary city, right? A sanctuary city means that you can send the immigrants can come there and they don't have they won't be sent back right away. They will try to make their way through the American way. These are the things that make America great. We have tons of people that, like, this generation doesn't want, no one wants a trade. No one wants to be an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, and when they come over here, bro, like they're seeing where they can improve their life. All right, I need to be able to build a house. Let me learn how to do that. It doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long, right? Let me. You need someone to help clean. You need someone to watch your children while you watch Facebook or Instagram. You're so concerned with yourself. Okay, understand, man. We got to get a generation back into the working field. They got to work, right? Everybody can't do podcasting. Anyway, that happened over the weekend. Tuesday, we had a cargo ship hit a bridge. The force of the cargo ship transferred when it collided with Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore on Tuesday was on the scale of the force of a rocket launch. I know. You're thinking about the ships in the water, and I have a brief video of when it hit, and you can see when it was trying to stop or when it hit, it hit smack. The video is long, and it shows how they were getting there from point A to point B, but this video was carrying a lot of cargo, had a lot of weight on it, right? So let's watch this video real quick. Just that quick. Took the whole bridge out. Now again, right, CMP doesn't really talk about bad things. Right? We try to promote the positive, but there's no positive in that situation. We have a couple stories, news stories on here that are not pushing positive, but solutions, right? To the people that they found, to the people that they didn't find, my prayers are out to their family, right? But we have to come up with a better way of transporting cargo goods that doesn't necessarily interlope with us living, right? So if cargo, there shouldn't be a bridge by a dock or anything that brings in stuff from, right? They should have bridges, but they shouldn't be over and through and under and all that good stuff, right? So anyway, experts now predict that this incident will transform shipping on the eastern seaboard and change how ships and bridges function around the world. The ship was so large that once it lost its engine power, there was nothing that could be done to change its course or slow down. Key Bridge has also been vulnerable since 1980. For over 40 years, engineers have warned that the bridge, because of its design, would never be able to survive a direct hit from any container ship. Fortunately, traffic was stopped before the collision, but the collapse swallowed up 7 road workers and an inspector who did not make it off the bridge in time. 2 were pulled from the water alive, but 4 others are still missing and presumed dead. 2 bodies were retrieved on Wednesday, authorities said. Also on Tuesday, the UN Security Council has called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, and the U.S. did not veto the decision this time. It also demanded the immediate release of all hostages. President Netanyahu, in a public statement, said, regrettably, the U.S. did not veto the new resolution. Why would you have people over there suffering from oppression, from apartheid, right? If you think of everything that's going on, I don't even want to put religion on it. Let's just remove religion for a second, right? And everybody looks at me crazy when I say that. Let's remove religion and put religion off to the side, because there's no way you're dropping bombs and shooting bullets at people in the name of God, right? That doesn't work for me. So let's remove religion. And let's just say these are normal people. They're your brothers and your sisters, created, and they're human just like you. They're not aliens. They're not. I'll be thinking, like, well, how do people fight wars and kill people that look just like them, that bleed just like them, that die just like them, that do everything that they do? They eat, they sleep, they do everything that you do, right? And you're fighting a war. I think the people in charge, once you put the people in charge that are telling people to go to war on the front line, the king back in the day was out there with his knights. He was out there with his knights. At least in the storybooks that I see, in the movies that I see, he's out there fighting with his knights. So let's put the president out there. Everybody, come on, let's go. I guarantee you the war won't last long. And that's the problem that we have. We have people in high places that use their power to make people fight and want people to fight, and so they can take land, or they can take oil, or they can take whatever. I'm not saying that's what's going on here. I'm just saying overall. So he said, President Netanyahu, in a public statement, regrettably, the U.S. did not veto the new resolution. So the U.S. is supposed to agree with you while you got these people starving, and they're in a food desert, and they're in a war, and you're blowing things up, and you're destroying things, and the U.S. is supposed to side with you while you're doing all this, and that doesn't make sense. The U.S. decision to not veto the call goes against its previous decision many months ago, when they were the only country to veto the Security Council's decision. How do you feel about the United States taking so long to support a ceasefire? I feel like, when you have friends that are doing things that are wrong, you don't never want to call them out. But if you don't call them out, they'll continue to do those things, and things blow up. They get exacerbated by your lack of no calls. So, also on Tuesday, our favorite governor, that's right, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis, signs a bill that bans children under 14 from having social media accounts. I agree with that 100%. I know that sounds crazy. I know anybody agreeing with Ron DeSantis, might need to have their head checked. But think about this. Your 14 or 15-year-old is no longer allowed to have social media, which means that now they can focus on schoolwork. Social media is the reason why most of our kids are frustrated and confused and upset and mad. And right, social media does more damage to a underdeveloped brain than smoking weed and crack. And it might not be as bad as those things, but I think it is, right? When our children, when they get a hold of social media and other people's thoughts and how other people feel, right, that's what's happening, right? We have been allowed to exchange thoughts, and I don't take advantage of that. I try to make sure we give good energy, right? Give good energy from your stomach. But I think that's a good look, right? Now, that's not something that, Governor Ron DeSantis always does, but hey, man, that's cool for me. Also, kids 14 and 15 will need parents' consent before they join any social media platform. This will take effect in January 2025. Social media regulations are increasing across the country as parents claim the platforms don't have enough protections for their children. How old should a kid be? How old should a kid be to be allowed to use social media? There's growing possibilities that TikTok may have been heavily regulated by the U.S. in the future, What are your thoughts on this? I don't have a problem as long as it's positive, but it's hard to push positivity when negativity sells so much. People make a ton of money off of being negative, talking about people, talking about people's lives and everything else, right? That's just what they say. Let's talk about this good brother, my man DJ Burns. This brother's big, bro. On Wednesday's sports news station, The Athletic wrote a story about DJ Burns, a center on NC State's March Madness basketball team, who is becoming a March Madness sensation. Over the weekend, he scored 24 points and had 11 rebounds and 4 assists in 11th seed North Carolina State's win over number 14 Oakland. The 6'9" and more than 300 pounds, at 6'9" and more than 300 pounds, he is nearly impossible to guard toward the end of a game. He will consistently get triple teamed and still scoring. In an interview, DJ was asked why he thinks he's getting a lot of attention. He says, I would definitely say my size is 100% the reason. I think if I was a skinny guy at 240 doing this, it wouldn't even be looked at the same or at all. Burns is described as a silky smooth big man and has his strength coach says he's like a polar bear and a ballerina. His mother in an interview said that the fat shaming only fuels him. When you call him Whopper, when you put him down, when you're ugly, you're just giving him jet fuel. So shout out to DJ Burns, man. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. You know, I hope he's still in. I hope North Carolina State's still in. I didn't really have the time to research all this stuff. I know. Pierre, yep, that's what I do. Right. We're gonna shoot to the public announcements real quick before we get into these last two stories. The Seed to Supper is a free adult gardening program for all gardeners, new to expert. Make friends, meet your neighbors while learning how to grow food on a limited budget. This program will be hosted at Chester Eastside in partnership with Penn State's Master Gardeners. It includes classes in planning and planting a garden, as well as cooking demos with vegetables you grow. Classes will be held on Wednesdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. starting April 24th. Go to Chester's Eastside website to register or call our phone number 610-872-4812 for more information. Anyone in Chester or surrounding area, pre-register by April 5th. Contact Holly Thorpe. Right, and this is good, right? That's definitely something we all should be trying to learn how to do. Is a garden, to plant our own garden and create and cultivate our own food. Because the way prices is going up, man, it's going to get hard, like, real quick. All right, we're going to do this. Here we go. Thursday, Sean Diddy Combs has been targeted by multiple civil lawsuits in the past few months and now is officially a subject of a federal investigation. Diddy has been accused of sexual assault, sexual trafficking, and engaging in other criminal activities. Combs has denied all of the allegations, calling them sickening. Aaron Dyer, an attorney for Diddy, called the federal raid this week as a gross overuse of military force. Federal agents conducted searches of Combs' properties. They found guns, and his phones were seized at an airport. A warrant was issued from the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. Neither Diddy or family members have been arrested. This is a lot. This is a lot for Diddy. You know, no matter how you feel about Diddy, his actions before, his actions now, his actions then, he is someone who did a lot with a very little bit, right? And he had a voice, Bad Boy. He had a voice during a time when a lot of us were growing up, and we remember him for that. I'm not saying what he did was right. I want to give prayers to all the people that feel that they have been victimized by Diddy. I don't know if they have a support group or anything, but a lot of people have gone through a lot of traumas that they say behind Diddy. So I just love how they take black men or black women, they put them up top, and then how we love and how we as people love to watch people fall, see how far they fall, and we make fun of them and we laugh at them. So be careful if they put you up. Be careful if they pick you up, because they're picking you up to watch you fall. And I think when we pay more attention to that way, it makes sense that we make sure we're paying attention to everything that's going on around us. Also on Thursday, a recent study, this kind of goes with Diddy and him being a producer. A recent study, according to Forbes, shows that music lyrics have gotten simpler, angrier, and more repetitive since the 1990s or the 80s. The research claims that songs have gotten shorter, simpler, and more negative over the years due to factors like incentives from streaming services, a rise in short-form videos on TikTok, people preferring to listen to background music. Because only popular music was used for the study, the researchers think listeners' preference for more negative music grew rather than more artists producing negative music. Why are listeners preferring more negative music? Do you think TikTok is ruining people's lives? That goes back to the little children, and I think once you reach a certain age, once you reach over 26 years old, they say it's something in your brain that clicks on, and now you understand good from bad, right? You have fully grown, right? I get that. I went through that myself, right? Things that I had no problem with doing when I was 15. I didn't really want to, I don't know about that. I can get caught, right? Then you get to think about, right? But when you were 15, you never really thought about getting caught. You just did it. So for me, I think just making sure our children have an opportunity to grow up, right, in a good world, and we don't show them all the negative stuff that we like to indulge in until they had that opportunity to grow up fully. I want to give a huge shout out. So last Saturday, we all heard the news. We all saw that a young girl had fallen into the creek. Her name is Anasia Brooker. Since last Saturday, we've had people searching for her. And I want to give my opinion on the search. It was something that was needed. It was something that I believe should have never been halted or stopped. And I also want to give a huge shout out to our first responders. These are the people that show up when we're running the other way, right? They show up and they jump in when a house is on fire, when something bad is happening to someone else. The first responders are there. So I definitely want to give a huge shout out to all of them and tell them thank you, right? Thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your perseverance. Thank you for having just an understanding of what to do in that situation. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the city for stepping up and doing their job. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do. I think more about how my jobs have pulled me away from actually being able to do what I love to do, and that's support my community. But any way I could have or could still support, I'm down. Huge shout out to State Representative Carol Kazim, right, for standing out there, for holding people accountable, for asking for more action, for asking for people, and you shouldn't have to ask for people to care a little bit more, right? To put themselves in that position where your child is in that water, where your child is probably washed up somewhere. I want to give major prayers and anything that I can give to her family, to her grandmother, to her mother, to her father, to her cousins, to everyone. I don't know how that feels. I can only imagine. And any way that I can help, please allow me to do so. It's hard when you think about her last moments, when you think about going down into that creek. How can we make that creek safer for children? Now, I understand, right? You know, when we're kids, I used to go Memorial Park. Didn't have a big creek, but they used to have a creek down there, right, which was crazy. I'm looking for it. I'm like, maybe that's where the water backup is coming from, right? But I'm not going to get into all that. It used to be a creek down there. It was a lot bigger than what I see now, but it was one. And we used to go down there and we used to play in it, right? Now, I doubt if it could have washed me away, but there was a tunnel underneath of it, right? So there are just things that children just want to do. It's not her fault, right? It's not her parents' fault. It's not the city's fault. There are things that kids just want to be able to do. And when things go wrong, we're looking to blame whoever we can. When there might not be anyone to blame, we just need to support. We stop pointing fingers and we reach out our hand and help. It gets so much done. We stop pointing fingers and saying them or him or there or her or all of them. And we just reach out our hand and we help. We can get so much more done. And I get it. You know, everyone has their moments when they feel as though, you know, we need to blame more people for more things going wrong. But that's not always the way to go. I want everyone to know that I love them. I appreciate you. And you guys are always in my prayers, right? My community is always in my prayers. How we can come together and just fix what's wrong, fix what's not working correctly, help those who are already in that motion of fixing, right? No, don't create another wheel, you add a spoke, right? Help someone who's already in the community doing something. Don't create something else to put you on top, because you can build with him and still be on top, or build with her and still be on top. So don't run from an opportunity to help someone be better or to grow, because you'll be growing yourself. I want everybody to have a great day. I don't want anybody to have a bad day. Today is Jumu'ah Friday, so, you know, for my Muslims, Assalamu alaikum. To all my Christians, peace be unto you. And to all my Jewish folks, have a great day. I don't know what you say, right? But I don't want anyone to take anything personal. I want us to continue to build. News is news, right? But we have to continue. We have to want to see better. Again, right? Make sure you get with this free beginners gardening course. Let's learn how to grow our community. Let's learn how to, and listen, from our community, we can get a garden, we can grow, and we can give carrots and corn and broccoli and all of these things, and tomatoes, and maybe we could plant some apple trees. That might take a while, but we can do this, right? We can do this. If you really want to do it, you can do it, right? Don't let nobody tell you can't, right? It's cmpradio.net. It's your boy, Uncle P, man. Be safe out there. Peace.